Shalom, it's your brother Yerah, giving all praise to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rachach Wadash, for giving me the spirit to do this lesson. Shalom to the elect of Israel, the so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, whom the Lord will have mercy on in these latter days. Shalom to the men of the Lord that are prophesying, that are preaching and teaching on the highways and byways in sincerity and in truth. Shalom, shalom. And I have another quick lesson here, and then this will be I'll basically entitle this another crafty device of the wicked. It says COVID drives real businesses to tap deep fake technology. Now, if you've never heard of deep fake technology, this is basically the ability through using artificial intelligence, computer software, imaging software, to basically change people's face in a very, very, very realistic way. You know, they can essentially put anybody's face onto anybody committing any action. You know, they might be able to put your face on someone doing something heinous, you know, and use that as video evidence to lock you up, or just to persecute you, or even just to slander us. And we know the slander is coming, you know, in these latter days. So we just got to be prepared for it, prepare our souls for that, you know. So I'll read real quick, and I got a couple precepts. I'm trying to keep these lessons more brief, you know. Hopefully you all can be edified. And this is an article by Wired. So you brothers can search that on Google. Coronavirus restrictions make it harder and more expensive to shoot videos. So some companies are turning to synthetic media instead. So this is how they're saying it. Now that you know, everybody's at COVID, you know, you can't have actors come out, you can't have movie sets anymore, television sets that where you film and have a bunch of people in production, you know, around. So now what they're saying is that, you know, you can do it digitally. You know, you can impose people's faces on screen as a means to continue to do entertainment content. You know, it says this month, advertising giant WPP will send unusual corporate training videos to tens of thousands of employees worldwide. A presenter will speak in the recipient's language and address them by name while explaining some basic concepts in artificial intelligence, which is a crafty device of the wicked. The videos themselves will be powerful demonstrations of what AI can do. The face and the words it speaks will be synthesized by software. Hey, that's heavy, man. That's scary, actually. You know, now you see you got to come back. There's nothing you can do to this man. The Lord, he has the power ordained by the Most High to do all the wickedness that he's doing. And that's what a lot of Jakes need to understand. You know, trying to come up again. He can just slander you. You know, he can put, you know, he can hack your computer. He can put all kind of nonsense on there, you know, radical rhetoric, you know. I mean, you know, over time, the American people have given this government so much power, you know, in Esau Edom, and he's using it, you know, and the people here are enslaved. This was a country of freedom. Now they're a country of slaves for the most part. There are two different classes of people here. There's a ruling class and there's a servant class, you know, and a lot of Edomites are in that servant class along with Jake. But see, it's Jake that he's targeting, that he wants to keep down, you know. He simply just doesn't care for the rest of his people. You know, that's really what that boils down to. It says WPP doesn't build them as such, but its synthetic training videos might be called deep fakes, a loose term applied to images or videos generated using AI that look real. And they do look very real. I've seen some deep fakes. They look very, very real and convincing. Although best known as tools of harassment, porn, or duplicity, image generating AI is now being used by major corporations for such anodyne purposes as corporate training. WPP's Unreal training videos made with technology from London startup Synthesia. So there's a company that, you know, startup that's already doing it, man. So it's a thing, you know. Nobody puts up seed money or startup money for something that's not, that they don't believe is going to be a trend in the future or going to be viable economically somehow, you know. Uh, Since aren't perfect. WPP Chief Technology Officer Stephen Pretorius Salakia says the prosody of the presenter's delivery can be off. The most jarring flaw in an early cut shown to Wired that was visually smooth, but the ability to personalize and localize video to many individuals makes for more compelling footage than the usual corporate fare, he says. The technology is getting very good very quickly, Pretorius says, you know. And this is what a public company, I say not public as in terms of stock or anything, I'm not sure, but it's a company that's, you know, known to the public. Now, what do you think Esau has, you know, in his what you so-called deep state, you know, and military applications, CIA, all these alphabet uh, departments and what have you, you know, for lack of a better term, it'll lose me, but you know, NSA, CIA, you know, FBI, you know, what do these guys have in terms of technology, you know? We know the government always stays 10 steps ahead in technology before it's allowed to be released to the public, you know. As a prime example, the internet was being used by the government decades before it became widespread, you know. Deep fake style production can be cheap and quick, and an advantage amplified by COVID-19 restrictions that have made conventional video shoots trickier and riskier. Pretorius has a company-wide internal education campaign that require 20 different scripts for WPP's global workforce, each costing tens of thousands of dollars to produce. With Synthesia, we can have avatars that are diverse and speak your name and your agency in your language, and the whole thing can cost 100,000. He says so. You know, he's marketing this as a way to save money, to make things cheaper for production. You know, but we all know the wicked. You know, he always uses things. He always weaponizes things. You know, he weaponizes. You know, so I'll skip down here to keep this short. Um, as the term deepfakes come from the Reddit user of the person or persons who in 2017 released a series of pornographic clips modified using machine learning to include faces of Hollywood actresses. Their code was released online, and various forms of AI video and image generation technology are now available to any interested amateur. So even amateurs can do this now, you know? You know, that's crazy. Uh, it says Rosebud AI specializes in making the kind of glossy images used in e-commerce or marketing. Last year, the company released a collection of 25,000 modeling photos of people that never existed, along with tools that can swap synthetic faces into any photo. More recently, it launched a service that can put clothes photographed on mannequins onto virtual but real-looking models. You know, so this here is an image, I believe, of one person. You know, and their face is modified. This is one person, if you can believe it, whose face have been slightly modified. This is a more of an African featured person. This is more European. This is more of a South American. This is more of an Asian. You know, all modified through artificial intelligence and imagery software. You know, so you got these guys out here, Jam Master J, whatever they call it, Grandmaster J, whatever the fuck his name is, that bald face demon out there with militia and guns that are trying to basically slander us, trying to portray the image of violent and militant individuals, you know. And this is the same thing they did to Yahweh Shai, you know, even all the way up even if you read Matthew 27, they were still trying to confound him, you know. And he, he said on the cross, "Thou sayest," you know. So you call me King of the Jews, thou sayest, even up into his death. But see, they had already made it up in their mind that they wanted to get rid of Yahushua, all those wicked chief priests at the time, you know. They had already made up in their mind what they wanted to do, and they were crucifying him anyway. But see, they were never able to confound him. They were never able to get him to say the thing that they wanted him to say. They wanted him to say something that they can perceive as wicked. But Yahweh Shah was perfect, and did that stop them from doing what they had to do? No. Those wicked chief priests, they still went on to slander him and to ultimately crucify him on the cross, man. You know, you had a goddamn Edomite even washed his hands of the whole matter. That's how wicked our people were back in the day, man. So Grandmaster Jay is just another one of those wicked ass niggas, man. Ultimately that's what this is. You can read more on this article about deep fakes and whatnot. I'm gonna get a couple precepts and close this out. It says this is Second Corinthians 2 and 11. It says, lest Satan should get an advantage of us, for we are not ignorant of his devices. So that's the reason I want to share this with you, Akim. Is we have to be watchmen. And although I've known about deepfakes for some time now, it may not be known to to everybody. So this is one of his devices. This is Psalms 83. It says, "For lo, thine enemies make a tumult, and they that hate thee have lifted up the head. They have taken crafty counsel against thy people, and consulted against thy hidden ones." And that's exactly what this is. They're consulting ways to turn the public against us, and that's the first thing they do when they want to destroy you. They start to slander you. They want to make society reject you again, to the point that where they're okay with the violent things happening to you, because ultimately that's what they want to do. They have said, "Come and let us cut them off from being a nation, that the name of Israel may be no more in remembrance." So that's especially the men of the Lord who woken back up, those dry bones, that are calling on the name of Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shai, that know that we're Israelites. He wants to cut that name off because the Most High restored that name to us. We've been calling ourselves Black and African American for so long, and that's how Esau preferred it. He wanted us to be a proverb and a byword. It says, "For they have consulted together with one consent, they are confederate against thee." And let's see the first nation he names, the tabernacles of Edom. And what was true then is true now. These nations have still been confederate against us this entire time. Now we know Esau, Edom, is the one who bought us up in the slave trade and enslaved us in a very horrific and torturous and cruel way for hundreds of years, and then refused to pay us after he got rich off of us. And the Ishmaelites, the Arabs were confederate with that as well. And the Chinese just came over here to be part of it. Which are your Moabites. So ultimately, all these heathens, they have hell to pay, man. They have hell to pay. This is the last precept. It says, "For they intended evil against thee. They imagine a mischievous device, which they are not able to perform." So ultimately, he's going to get a lot of our people this way, through slander, through these AI deep fakes, using the media to paint us in a certain way. But ultimately, the elect are going to be okay. The elect are going to be preserved, for believing in Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai, for calling on that name, for keeping our patience. Like the scriptures say, in your patience possess you your souls, man. So when you see that, pursuing the Revelation 12 and 12, the enemy is coming down on us, having great wrath, because he knows he have but a short time. Hey, you have to remember the Lord is going to lift up a standard, you know, for the ones who truly believe. You know, those are the ones he's going to have mercy on. You know, says they imagine a mischievous device which they are not able to perform. Says therefore shalt thou make them turn their back when thou shalt make ready thine arrows upon thy strings against the face of them. So the Lord is already readying those arrows against this place, man. We just have to have faith, you know, that we're and realize that you know, faith in the Most High is really what's going to preserve us. Because if we fall to the ways of this world, you know, if you take the RFID chip, the mark of the beast, you die that same death. You know, these arrows that are going to be shot on this place, you're going to partake in that judgment. You know, just be thou exalted, O Lord Yahweh, in thine own strength. So we will sing and praise thy power. So that's basically it. Akim, I just wanted to share that you're going to see more and more witchcraft like this, you know, called deep fakes, you know. So I wanted to share that with y'all. Hopefully I was able to edify the Akim. Hopefully y'all were edified. Peace to y'all. Stay in the faith. Stay strong. Stay prayed up. Call Allah Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shai Bahashim Chakwadash Wa Abad Babal.